Welcome back, everyone. This is your Sharp Squares podcast with Greg Roth, the ambassador, David Eby, and today, the professor, Elon Weisbark, makes a guest appearance along with yours truly, Eric Glazer. Welcome back. It is week 16 of the NFL season 2024-25. The professor's coming in to sort of EP and co-host a bit today as I'm going to get pulled away during the recording. We've got holiday season here for the next couple of weeks. I hope everyone has a really happy holiday, and I'm hoping our sharps will gift us with some winning picks because last week they were awful. 31.6 in aggregate against the number. We did salvage 2 and 3 with our medal games, 2 and 3 and pick 5. I'm not even going to talk about 3-2-1, but it was an offer. We're hoping the gifts are coming right now in a segment we call Gold, Silver, Bronze. I may call him Santa Claus when the mic's off, but you call him everyone's favorite fellow degenerate. Here he is, the Greg Roth.
Eric, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you and the ambassador and the professor. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Festivus, of course, to the
Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa, thank you. To everybody out there, especially our production team who does such a fine job all year, and our incredibly sophisticated and patient listening audience. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. Of course, Christmas is next week, but next week's episode will be after Christmas. So happy holidays. Enjoy your time off. Or if you're working, enjoy that. Enjoy your families, or maybe you get away from your family. Depends. It depends where you're traveling, right?
That's sage advice.
Yeah, for me, I used to want to be around my kids. Now I'm happy when they're with their friends instead. What is Santa bringing to gold, silver, bronze? 6 medal games, 6 of them. There are 2 gold, 1 silver, and 3 bronze. The gold game, the top rated game, the pick. It's the New York Jets. They're a home dog. They're getting 3.5, welcoming the LA Rams. Marco D'Angelo, Ross Tucker, Stuckey, the Favorites Podcast, and Cleve TA all picked the Jets. Nobody took the Rams. The second goal game, the picks, the San Francisco 49ers, they're plus 1.5. They're in Miami to take on the Dolphins. RJ Bell, Chris Raybon, Fabian Summer, and Cleve TA all picked San Francisco. Nobody picked Miami. The silver game, the picks, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're plus 6.5 in Baltimore to take on the Ravens. That's a Saturday afternoon game. Scott Seidenberg, Ross Tucker, and the Favorites Podcast all picked Pittsburgh. Nobody took Baltimore. 3 bronze games. The top-rated bronze game, the picks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're in Dallas to take on the Cowboys. That's the Sunday night game. RJ Bell, Scott Seidenberg, and Mike Renner picked Tampa. Ross Tucker and Descent took Dallas. The second bronze game, of course. I don't know. I promised everybody I wouldn't announce it. I've lost track of what that deadline was. The only person who disagreed with that decision was the professor. But here we are. We're back again with the Tennessee Titans. They're plus 4.5. They're in Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Chris Raybon took Tennessee. Kelly Stewart took the Colts. That's a rare 1-1 game. It's still medaled because Raybon took it, I believe, at plus 5, more than plus 4.5. Anyway, that's a bronze game. The last bronze game. The picks, the Chicago Bears. They're a home dog, plus 6.5 to take on the Detroit Lions. Steve Fezzik, Stuckey, Gil Alexander all picked the Bears. Ralph Michaels and the Favorites Podcast in Descent took Detroit. So our picks, we have 6 medal games. The top 4, the Jets plus 3.5, the 49ers plus 1.5, the Steelers plus 6.5, and the Buccaneers minus 3.5 make the pick 5. Eric is on a plane right now, so I'm audible. I'm gonna audible. I got it right. We're not cutting because it's Christmas. We just don't have time. We're not gonna edit this.
No editing.
I audibled with the help of the ambassador. We're taking the Titans out, even though they're the fifth highest rated game. It was very close with the Bears, basically a tie. We're moving the Bears into the fifth pick at plus 6.5. That's our pick 5. 3, 2, 1. The Jets drop as the top rated game to the 1-point game because we're only getting 3 in that pool. They're 3.5 at DraftKings plus 3 in our pool. That's the 1-point game. That moves the 49ers to the top as a 3-point game at plus 1.5, and the Steelers at plus 6.5. So to recap all of it, Jets and 49ers are gold, Steelers are silver, Tampa, Tennessee, and Chicago are bronze.
If that is all you're looking for, you are now dismissed. And now we're going to turn it over to the ambassador, Dave Evie, for some trends of the week.
Thank you, Professor. First, we've got some trends from Bet Labs, where you can find them at Bet Labs, at bet_labs on Twitter X. Josh Allen and the Bills are going to New England to play the Patriots this weekend, and Josh Allen is 1-6-1 against the spread as a favorite of more than 10 points the last 3 years. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are taking on the Browns. They're a 7.5-point favorite, and Joe Burrow is 3-8 against the spread as a favorite of 7 or more points. Moving on to the Steelers and the Ravens. In the Mike Tomlin era, Steelers are 13-2 ATS as underdogs against the Ravens. And finally, Bo Nix against the spread in the NFL as a favorite. Believe it or not, he's undefeated at 7-0 ATS. As an underdog, he's 4-3 against the spread. And the Broncos already played the Chargers, so I guess you really don't need to know about that trend. Bo Nix is now 4-4 as an underdog ATS. From the Action Network, home underdogs are 35, 48, and 3. ATS, that's 42%. That's this season. That would be the second least profitable season since 1990. Meanwhile, road favorites went 7-0 straight up last week and are 34-8 straight up. That's 81% since week 9. Finally, let's talk about the NFL Week 16 home dogs. We've got the Bears, the Jets, the Commanders, the Panthers, the Seahawks, the Dolphins, and the Cowboys. And finally, favorites have gone 156-66. That's 71% straight up this year. The most profitable season since 2009. And it's also the fourth least profitable season for underdogs in NFL history.
All right, I'm going to start off the handicap highlights with the Rams at the Jets. The theme of this game, the indoor team going across the country to play outdoors in December. And I guess a secondary theme is Dave Eby's got to pick one of these two teams in his survivor pool. So we'll see which one.
Tough choice.
It's a very tough choice. Handicap, the warm Cali weather, the LA Rams, the QB, Matt Stafford, they have to travel across the country, almost 3,000 miles to play a much improved, as of late, Aaron Rodgers-led New York Jets team. Simon Hunter of the Faves Pod throws out a surprisingly lopsided stat that Stafford is 4-7 straight up outdoors when it's 35 degrees or less, and he's 1-3 when it's under 30 degrees. Stuckey of the Action Network points out that the Rams have won 7 one-possession games this year, while the Jets have actually lost 7 one-possession games. And if you know anything about one-possession games, they usually even out. Cue the Vikings from last year. Marco of Wager Talk also got in on the weather and travel issue, stating the Rams are a warm weather dome team playing in New York in December. Also pointed out that the Rams are in a sandwich spot coming off a division game versus San Francisco, pointing out that next week is actually for the division, whether they win or lose this week. So as the Rams play division foe Arizona Cardinals next week, that's really the one that matters. The Rams may be a little bit too relaxed against the Jets this week. Timestamps, Action Network, 13 minutes, 50 seconds. Even Money, 18 minutes, 40 seconds. The Faves Pod, 29 minutes, 45 seconds. And Wager Talk, 19 minutes, 20 seconds.
Second goal game, the 49ers are plus 1.5 in Miami versus the Dolphins. A theme, the 49ers have a favorable health report in an otherwise injury-riddled matchup. Handicap synopsis, both teams have had their seasons essentially ended as they each lost last week. As the 49ers travel to Miami, Brock Purdy hopes to lead an injury-challenged 49ers against an equally injured Dolphins squad. With stars on each offense likely to miss the game, it seems that the best defense, 49ers in this case, will help propel their respective games. Highlights from Chris Raybon, Action Network. He says that the Miami offense has not been as explosive this season. Houston's has a great defensive game plan last week versus Miami to set the blueprint for the 49ers. From Fabian Summer, Forward Progress, he says the Niners have strong linebackers and will control the middle of the field. RJ Bell from the Dream Preview hasn't been impressed with Mike McDaniel one time this year. I mean, not even one time. There must have been like a press conference somewhere where he's like, yeah, Mike McDaniel. I mean, I like Mike McDaniel. He's just got a cool look up there. I mean, he had the beard, he had a facial hair from last season. So I don't know if I agree with RJ on that. Timestamps, Dream Preview, 5 minutes, 12 seconds. Action Network, 30 minutes even. Forward Progress, 50 minutes, 50 seconds.
Finally, our third game and our first and only silver game is the Steelers at the Ravens. The pick is the Steelers plus 6.5 points. The theme, these games are always close because Lamar Jackson is Mike Tomlin's B. I'm not sure what B means, but they just told me to say that. Handicap synopsis, Mike Tomlin against Lamar Jackson is 5-0 against the spread as an underdog. In those games, Lamar has a measly 5 touchdowns, a whopping 8 interceptions, and a non-existent 0 rushing touchdowns. Earlier this year, they won outright as a 3-point dog. That is, the Steelers did. And when Tomlin's Steelers are dogs of 4 or more points against these Ravens, they're 4-0 ATS, covering by 7.9 points per game. Highlights, Scott Seidenberg from the Dream Preview said the reason why the Steelers had so much success against Lamar in the last game is because Pittsburgh played a single high coverage against Lamar, which he's not used to seeing. He sees a lot of 2 high coverage, he sees the shell, and he sees split safety defense, but he doesn't see single high coverage apparently. Chad Millman from the Favors podcast pointed out that when Mike Tomlin's Steelers have been a dog of 3 or more versus the Ravens, they are 6-0 ATS. And in the last 15 years, the underdog in this game is 23-4-3 ATS. Hard to go against that trend. Finally, Ross Tucker from Even Money said it succinctly. He said, every time these teams play, it's a 3-point game. Boom. Highlight done. Timestamps, Dream Preview 4:47, Even Money 15:55. And the Fabes Pod, 14:45.
I feel like we've got to come back to this Mike McDaniel nonsense because in some way, maybe RJ Bell isn't into the cutoff pants or something.
He seems stylish. He might just be referring to the fact that Mike McDaniel can't seem to win against a team with a winning record.
Maybe,
but I think he looks good.
Team.
He definitely looks unique, and there's something to be said for that.
He makes it interesting, that's for sure. Want to say great job to our production team. None of us are truly sharp, but this is your Sharp Squares podcast.
Good luck out there. Happy holidays.